Well, welcome back. We're here with our guest now is David Mahan. David is one of our paramedics here at Nature Coast EMS. In fact, in 2009, David was one of our stars of life that we took to Washington, D.C. and recognized for his excellence in EMS. So welcome to the show, David.
Thank you.
And what we'd like to talk a little bit about now is our bariatric stretchers and how we use it. And typically when we talk about a bariatric patient, David, what weight range are we thinking about?
Well, the first thing we consider is obviously the safety of the crew. So it all depends on the crew, but usually anybody that they've seen or will have problems with lifting and moving can be considered any bariatric. But usually anybody who's over about 300-400 pounds and above, we might consider starting to use the bariatric stretcher.
Yeah, and as you can see, can you kind of describe just kind of how it works a little bit? You can see there's a lot more mechanism here than on a regular ambulance.
Correct. As you can notice, the stretcher's a little bit wider, obviously. That's for the patient's comfort. We have the two ramps that go up our ambulance here. We also secure them for safety as well. We have the guide wire that hooked up to our hitch in the back of our truck. And about the stretcher, we still carry oxygen. We have some bars here that helps us lift the patient for better stabilization of the stretcher. And we have the two bars here in the front and the back that when the stretcher is all the way at the bottom of, or its lowest level, we can go ahead and guide the stretcher wherever we wanted it, you know, over terrain and things like that, which is better for the patient. But it's all secure. We secure the patient to the stretcher as well. And then we just use the ramps to go ahead and lift the patient up to the stretcher.
And it really does help. I mean, these really large patients, and I mean, it seems like we're seeing more and more of these all the time with more and more obesity as are in the country right now. It really helps us to handle them with a great deal of dignity, doesn't it?
Yeah, it helps them. It keeps them calm, you know, and they see that we have the equipment to go ahead and move them with ease. And they don't get concerned about us, and we don't get concerned about them, so it helps everybody in the long run.
It's safer for us and them, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. And what's the capacity on the stretcher? What's the maximum weight we can carry on the stretcher?
The stretcher, it obviously says it on the stretcher, but 1,600 pounds is when the stretcher is at its lowest level. But we can, and when it's up at its highest level, we go ahead and pick up 850 pounds.
Wow.
So it holds a lot of weight. But we, again, like I said, when it comes to our safety, it's, you know, we're going to start considering using it when we seem that we need it.
Definitely. So, well, thanks a lot, David, and we'll move on and see another piece of equipment. Well, welcome back. We're actually in the back of one of our Nature Coast EMS ambulances right now, and we're here still with David Mahan. We want to talk about another piece of equipment that's really important to the things we do and we take care of people, and we use it so often. I think we take it for granted because it does so much of the care we give, and that is our cardiac monitor. David, can you kind of go over some of the things this machine does?
Sure. This is a Zoll monitor. It's what we use on every patient. It does a variety of things, really. It can get us go ahead and get us blood pressures. It can measure someone's oxygen. It also go ahead and lets us transmit second by second EKGs and attach them to our report. So that way, if the doctor has a question on any part of our report or any part of the EKG, they can download second per second. It also obviously allows us to go ahead and attach the monitor to our patient, as well as perform EKGs out in the field, which are, you know, it's the same EKGs they do in the hospital, for us to determine if they're having a STEMI or a heart attack or things like that. So it does a variety of things. Not only a little bit more about the 12 leads, it also allows us to transmit from the back of our ambulance to the hospital that we're taking you. So that way we can tell the doctors right away if the patient's having a STEMI alert or a heart attack, and we can get the process rolling once we get through the ER doors.
Yeah, because oftentimes if we diagnose somebody having an acute heart attack, we just bypass the emergency room, take them right to the cath lab as well, don't we?
Correct. If they can get all the information, and that's why the transmission allows us to go ahead and do that. It gets the EKG rapidly to the ER doctor, and then the ER doctor, once we get there, just sends us straight up to the cath lab.
Wow. And it's also a pacemaker, right?
Correct. It allows us to do, like I said, a variety of things. Pacemaker is one of them. Allows us to interpret EKGs, but it allows us to cardiovert or defibrillate somebody as well if they need to be defibrillated due to the heart doing an irregular rhythm or abnormal rhythm, and it does a variety of things.
Great. And then I think what's so important about this machine, even though it does all these great diagnostic things, it's really the skill of you guys out there interpreting what the machine's saying. The machine can do all this stuff, but it's really you figuring out what the machine's saying so we know how to treat the patients and how to take really good care of them.
Correct. It's basically a tool. However, we still have to be able to interpret the rhythms, like you said, be able to control the monitor, and things like that. So it's just a great tool that we have in the back of the ambulance with us.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave. Just one of the tools that we use in the back of the ambulance to care for the people that we're taking care of. And we'll be right back.